Attention. Present arms.
Today, the NCO run is typically the kickoff for the NCO week this year. The NCO week in and of itself is to facilitate acknowledgement of the NCO Corps as the backbone of the Army, but it's not all inclusive to the NCOs on this post this week. Everyone on this post, officers, warrants, DACs, are invited to participate in all the events here.
So what is the purpose of NCO week? Is to pause for just a minute. Let's make sure we synchronize what we are expected to do and get on the same sheet and move out from there as a team. So it's not about pushing a piece of paper, getting a soldier left, right, forward, or back, getting ready for a mission. It's all of that put together. So this is a great opportunity for us just to sync up this week.
Hey, welcome to NCO Week. This is the first Leader Professional Development. We got a special guest today. He's Command Sergeant Major Dutton, Trade-Off CSM. Now, he's not going to talk about trade-off stuff. All right, this is going to be an ICO 213 thing.
So, one of the things that TRADOC is doing right now, that we've been doing for the past year, and that we're going to probably continue to do for the next 2 years, because nothing can move that fast or change that quickly. The first one is that we are manning recruiters at 100%. And the reason that we're manning recruiters at 100% is two reasons. Number one, we need to make our recruiting mission this year. And number two, we need to modernize our recruiting and accessions program. In order for us to make sure that we follow through with all of our modernization and are instilling rigor in things that we're doing, we have to make sure that our drill sergeant population is up to 100% also. So we're at about 95% right now, and we'll get there. But what that means for you, for most of you that are in the operational Army, is that you're going to continue to see folks, even though we're close to being at 100% for both platform instructors and drill sergeants, and we are at 100% for recruiters, you're still going to see NCOs getting selected to come to trade out to do those. One of those three jobs right there that I just talked about, because it is that important for our Army. During this next FY, when the ACFT is basically in diagnostic format, you should get as many reps as you can. Whether it's actually taking the full test or just reps in doing the events. Understanding them. Understanding what are the things that you can do that your soldiers that you can train your soldiers to do to prepare to take the events and the test better. What are some of those exercises? What are some of those movements? What are those things? What kind of equipment can you use in lieu of that actual stuff?
As we go through, I'm going to give you a brief demonstration of all the events, and then I'll break y'all up, and then we'll start running through them.
So for NCO week, this is just kind of giving everybody a generalization or a general idea of what to expect with the new ACFT that's upcoming. With the diagnostics that are coming up in October, with it hopefully when it becomes a test of record next October. So this is to give the NCOs out here currently this week an idea of what to expect on the events, give them an opportunity to go through the events. So that's what we're looking for.
Good.
7.7.
Lane 2, second record.
Second attempt.
So as part of the ACFT familiarization session this morning, we're just running the leg tuck event. So this is an event that measures basically grip strength, arm strength, trunk strength, and it simulates combat tasks like getting up onto or over an obstacle.
Whenever you start looking at the different events, like we'll start with the 3 repetition max deadlift. More or less it's utilized to make sure you can carry heavier loads, carry litters, and then when you look at more or less how they have to put it down. They're putting it down in a soft manner and not slamming it off the ground to more or less replicate if they had to move somebody in combat, they could actually move a heavier weight, put that soldier down and not just drop them or throw them on the ground. The doctrine that's out there, the way I'm reading it right now, you have that gold, gray, and black or heavy significant standards, all based on MOS. But yeah, they're kind of breaking it down by MOS.
As an intelligence soldier, I realize that my job is not as physically demanding as, say, infantryman or a cavalry scout. So I think it is great to actually show that within your standards for your ACFT now.
The way everything that I've read so far, October starts the diagnostics. Units are going to be required to take one diagnostic in October, another diagnostic, more or less 2 diagnostics before next FY. And then next FY is supposed to kick off the actual APFT replaced by the ACFT.
It helps us out for the mission, and if we ever do have to go downrange for a deployment environment, it actually helps us make sure that we're at the best physical peak that we are.
This one's definitely a smoker. It's gonna be challenging, but I think it's a good thing for the force to move into.
I think it's great. I think it'll actually be testing us on, physical strength versus how fast somebody can run. Maybe you're lucky at sit-ups for time repetition. Maybe you're just fast at doing push-ups. I think this is actually going to challenge people, actually make it harder, actually make you work and make a lifestyle out of fitness.
All right, welcome to day 2 of NCO week, all right? Leader Professional Development. Today you're going to have the MI Corps Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Robinson, and the ALC NCOE Commandant.
NCO Academy heard me say this to them last week, but right now, it's the folks in this room, you are hanging on to coin for dear friggin' life. Because you swear that's the way all wars are fought. It is not. As a matter of fact, coin and large-scale combat operations are much different the way that they're done. And my joke I give to the Academy is, if you can imagine it, there's not even going to be a fob or a green bean anymore. But it's going to be highly expeditionary. You're going to be moving on a continual basis in this type of fight. So you've got to break that tie that you have to coin. Now don't get me wrong, I'm going to say the same thing as I said at the Academy last week. Once you hit the patch chart, that becomes your mission, right? Do not let go of that mission completely. And there are certain things that you do in the coin fight that you can bring with you over to large scale. But the Army, we are moving PME toward large scale combat operations. And if you read FM30, the new one, it actually defines what that environment is going to look like for you. And then we further define that here at ICO in FM2.
For the NCO PDS, it's really about knowledge, all right? They want you across the board, across the spectrum of each individual, both institutional, self-development, and operational, to come out with knowledge. So, like when I went through ANOC, BNOC, TLDC at the time, which is really dating myself, before WLC, it was really about tasks. They taught you how to do tasks, and you could push the button and get the product out, you're a go, you're certified. The problem is, as we go to large-scale combat operations, you need to understand what you're doing and how to apply it, and what the knowledge is behind it. So we can't just teach you, here's how to push a button so you get whatever at the end. We're trying to develop NCOs who can think, understand, and apply knowledge versus just doing skills. So I'll do a poll here. How many of you came in the Army after 2001? Majority of you. And I bring that up because it kind of shaped how we approached NCO PDS. So throughout the coin war, and I say that's 18 years, so you look at that, that's potentially a private all the way to a sergeant major that's only done coin type operations. That's what they know, that's what they're brought up on, and that's how they think that future fights will be, which is why it's a little bit of a paradigm shift as we go to large scale combat operations. Because it's more thinking, there's less knowns about it. The NCOs really have to be switched on and understand how to think ahead and what they need to do, how to take care of soldiers, maintenance, all those different things.
So this morning we're honoring Staff Sergeant Alexander Conrad. This is the Conrad Ruck Relay. He was a 35 Mike who passed away in Africa in 2018. So this morning is in honor of him. So it's every team member, so it's a 3-person team. Each team member has to do 2 miles total down Apache Flats and back, and then they can tag the next team member until they have a total of 6 miles.
That was more brutal than I anticipated. I like rucking, but long distance rucking, so this was very much a challenge.
We're hoping to make this an annual thing to honor fallen soldiers and to commemorate them in kind of a physical endurance way. Each team's got to figure out who their strongest, fastest person is on the team, who's better at certain things to put them in strategically to have the best outcome.
We're here to have fun. We're doing it for a good reason, and it's nice to actually do something outside of as well.
Fort Huachuca Non-Commissioned Officer Induction Ceremony. Today, we will recognize the passing of the junior NCOs before you into the ranks of the Non-Commissioned Officer Corps. Today, we, the Fort Huachuca Non-Commissioned Officers, emphasize the importance of preserving tradition. Focus on the meaning behind the rank of Sergeant, a leader of soldiers. Sergeant Antonio Navarez.
Be who you are. You'll be honest, genuine, you'll have faults. Your soldiers will see that you're a human being. And that is what's going to make the difference in being a great NCO and being an average NCO. Is that if you can make the time to become involved in your soldier's life and know that you are there for them, they'll always remember you and they will model themselves after you. And that's pretty powerful, that someone's going to change how they are to be more like you because of what you have symbolized as a non-commissioned officer and a person.
Go! So this morning's event is our day 2 of the Physical Endurance Challenge. It is the Coughlin Hero WOD. It's to honor Specialist Coughlin, who was KIA in Afghanistan in 2009. We had to augment the original hero workout of the day for Specialist Coughlin to meet the 3-person team standard. So we do a 12-minute cumulative time hang hold. Once a soldier has dropped from the bar, they have to conduct 2 laps around the track, 15 push-ups and 15 air squats before the next person can mount the bar, and the time starts again. So once the grader has a 12-minute total time for the team, they're going to look at that clock, and that time will be the team's time. So whoever does it in the fastest amount of time is the winner.
You're on the last seconds. All right, you got this. You got this. You got it. You got this. You got this. Hold on. Go, 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 go. Let's go.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop.
Go. Oh, go.
All right, 31-13 was your total.
There you go. Woo.
It's the willpower. It's definitely just willpower. It has nothing to do with physical endurance whatsoever. I'm thinking about how beautiful the landscape is. Can't beat this out of Fort Huachuca. You got the mountains right there, so gets your mind in a serenity type place.
They got some good guys over there. I think they got second in the ruck yesterday. Right?
I think they did too, so hopefully overall points are tied at the least.
Yeah.
We have our splits pretty well established for who's going to do what on the ACFT, so just looking forward to competing as hard as we can on final days.
Plan A was the ACFT. It was canceled due to weather. There's lightning strikes in the area, so they're moving everybody indoors. So Plan B is all, they're calling it a sprint triathlon. So it's 2 miles on the elliptical, 6 miles on the bike, 2 mile on the treadmill. Cumulative time for the teams. Officers in 213th right now are tied.
I think I got us in second place, but we're pretty close, so we'll see how it turns out.
It's whatever their strategy is right now. We're just putting the best man last so far, so hopefully that'll work out for us.
And they were all working hard in there, so I think it was a good one. We're about a 0.4 miles ahead, and I think we're going to be all right. As long as he increases the speed towards the end, I think we got this.
10 seconds.